Hey there, folks. It's Javier here. Javier Walks Away coming to you live. Just more thoughts on, as you guessed it, Donald Trump, the outgoing president, and at least as far as I know. Last video I showed you guys, I talked a little bit about the letter he sent, which, by the way, I have it right here. And also, kind of like my own thoughts, good and bad about him. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about his emails that I keep receiving from him, and kind of just do a little bit of a discernment on, where he's positive and where he's negative on certain aspects. Continuing on, like I know I did a Trump positive and negative video a while back. So I do receive emails from Donald Trump, even as a Biden voter, and I'm going to say, I openly admit it. I did vote for Mr. Biden. I do receive emails from Donald Trump, and that's because I donated to him in 2016. I donated to him, and in 26, and so ever since 2016. It was mostly because I was so afraid of Hillary Clinton for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to be very honest here, because I just like to be honest on my channel, that a lot of the reasons that I was afraid of Hillary Clinton, in my opinion, cannot be proven or disproven, about all these conspiracies about what she did in her emails and all these evil things that she supposedly did and how corrupt she supposedly was, which may be true, may not be true, but honestly, the honest truth is we don't know, and only God knows. And that's where I stand on that. But there's just so much stuff going on in 2016 that it just kind of, pushed me in the direction of Donald Trump. And I'm openly admitting it. And so ever since 2016, I've been receiving emails from Donald Trump. I haven't been paying attention to any of them. And at least until lately, after the election, and, as I started to reflect, as I saw, as Biden won the election, as I saw Biden win supposedly, obviously there's a lot of debate about that. I might even do another video about this after this one. But I'm going to read some emails that I just were kind of, reflecting. These emails actually show a good reflection of the good and the bad of Donald Trump. As president or as former president. He is saying here, okay, so one thing that let's start off with the positive. So Trump gives us a huge announcement on the COVID vaccine, the coronavirus vaccine, and this is a positive about him. Whether or not, you're anti-vax, or whether you believe it, or whether you want to take it or not, I personally don't believe anybody should be forced to take the COVID vaccine. I believe that it should be optional. I don't believe it should be forced. That's my position on it. But nevertheless, I do want to give Donald Trump credit, for working very hard and very swiftly, whether you trust it or not. That's on your opinion. The opinion's on you. And obviously, personally, I wouldn't do it. But anyway, I just want to give him credit for working very hard on trying to get this vaccine happening, and having his heart in the right place and all this. And I applaud him for that. I'm proud of him for that. That he worked very hard in trying to get this vaccine going, to try to put an end to this horrible coronavirus pandemic. So let's see what he has to say. Hang on one second. Let me make sure I'm still filming here as I read this. Javier, as I've said, the success of the coronavirus vaccine would only be announced after the election. So, yeah, as we see, we're after the election. Pfizer, Pfizer, and the others probably didn't have the courage to make this historic announcement before November 3rd, because they hoped it would keep me from winning big. So he's saying that they didn't want, the left wing, so to speak, didn't want, the public to know about this vaccine, because they didn't want Donald Trump to win. He says, Pfizer, I don't know what that is, and the others probably didn't have the courage to make this historic announcement before November 3rd, because they hoped it would keep me from winning big. The truth is, if Joe Biden were president, you wouldn't have this vaccine for another 4 years. Nor would the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have approved it quickly. The bureaucracy would have destroyed millions of lives. Questionable. You guys can, discern for yourself. And all this much more is at stake, Javier. The left is trying to steal the election and ruin all of our incredible progress. Like I said, good and bad. Good and bad, and a lot of good. And yeah, some bad, but a lot of good. You've been one of my loyal supporters, which actually is not very true. I did donate to you, but I have not technically been a very loyal supporter. But again, that's just very. I've been kind of a mediocre, kind of in the middle, kind of. Okay. Anyway, you've been one of our loyal supporters. That's why I'm coming to you now. So he's essentially saying in this email that something that I've already seen, multiple times. That he said this at his rally multiple times, and he's talked about this multiple times, and I give him I give him big credit for this. About getting the vaccine, about working very hard to actually get a vaccine for corona, and I seriously applaud his efforts for it. I really do. I mean, obviously, personally, me, I'm not going to do it, but that's just me. Everybody has the right to decide. I don't believe it should be forced on anybody, but I applaud his effort in getting this vaccine for coronavirus. I really do, and I believe that all came from a good place in his heart, and I sincerely applaud that. So he talked about the coronavirus vaccine, and good job on that. Good job. I'm proud of you for that. I think he's done all right with this in handling this issue and really trying. He really gave it an effort, even though he's not perfect, but he did give it an effort to handle this issue. So I applaud him for that. All right, so that's about the vaccine. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Mail-in ballot hoax. Okay, Trump again sent another email. Update on the vaccine. Okay, no, that was the same email, actually. Never mind. It's just a repeat of the same email. Interesting. Update on the election. We can't let Democrats take back this nation. Again, we're starting to see the rhetoric here, the negative rhetoric. We're seeing all this stuff about, Democrats. We can't let the Democrats take back this nation, and don't let them get away with it. Recount on Georgia, voter fraud, count only legal votes. Another thing about recount in Georgia, Wisconsin too close to call, North Carolina, thank you. He sends an email saying, thank you, North Carolina, for this historic achievement. Obviously, we knew on election night that North Carolina was going to go for Trump. North Carolina was a red state that has not budged throughout the election night. It took forever to call it, but yes, Trump did win it fair and square, so congratulations. Again, more stuff about defend the election. Another update on the vaccine. Let's see if that's the same email. No. Update on the ballots. We're fighting, stand with us. Trump says I'm not. Here's another one. I'm not going anywhere. Biden did not win. Thank you, Javier. It's heartwarming to see all the tremendous support from across the nation of great patriots like you. Organic rallies have been springing up all over the country, and yours. Incredible. The American people all-time favorite president. It depends on who you are. For example, the Democrats would be preaching unsafe rigged elections and blah, blah, blah. They rigged the election, all this stuff. There's just so much question, so much question. This is definitely, I talk to people, both Democrats and Republicans, they agree. This is like the first time they've ever seen this in their life, where a president, on one side, you see a president that does not concede, a president that's not going to give up the election, that believes that he won the election and that the election was literally stolen from him, as he keeps repeating in like 10 different emails, some of them from Mike Pence, some of them from him, some of them from his supporters, but he's just saying the same message. The election was stolen. The election was rigged. We're not going to concede. We're going to take this to the courts, and we're going to, keep fighting to the end. And we're gonna overturn the results, and we're going to, make sure Biden doesn't get in and all that. And that's what he's saying. So a lot of his base, they believe it, but again, you got to question, like, maybe some of them are going to have valid reason to believe it. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Maybe this is all just a big conspiracy, like many people are saying. And I can understand this could, because Trump is big on conspiracies. That's one of his negative aspects. He's big on all kinds of conspiracies. Obviously, a lot of his base will believe it. At the same time, maybe there's validity into this, election fraud stuff. So I guess at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens, and this is just going to be something interesting to follow up on. Obviously, we're still over 2 months away from January. It's November 16th, and inauguration day is going to be on January 20th, so we're going to see where this all goes. Anything could happen, folks. I mean, I don't know. I guess I believe, personally, I guess, there's a slightly more likely chance that Biden still will be inaugurated, but we'll see what happens. Anything could happen. This whole thing could change. I could be wrong, and this whole thing could change in favor of Donald Trump. We shall see. Anyway, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. This is Javier Blog 208. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all later.